After years of sleeping on sofas, playing two empty rooms, and busking on the cold streets of London, Ed Sheeran was reaching his breaking point. He was exhausted. He knew he had talent. He had notebooks filled with songs, but real success, the kind he dreamed of, still felt like a distant, flickering light. Despite the setbacks, Ed never stopped. He kept uploading videos of his performances online raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically real. They weren't polished, they weren't perfect, but they had something far more powerful: honesty. One of those videos, a simple performance with just his guitar and his voice, started to gain traction. It slowly spread across the internet, a digital message in a bottle floating towards an unknown shore. That bottle washed up on a very unexpected coast. It reached actor, musician, and producer Jamie Foxx. Jamie wasn't impressed by flashy visuals or a big production. He saw something much rarer. He saw a pure, undeniable talent. He was captivated by Ed's songwriting and the quiet confidence he commanded on stage, even when playing to a camera in a small room. So, Jamie did something incredible. He reached out and invited Ed to Los Angeles. For Ed, this felt like a dream. He had spent his entire life in England, never imagining he'd leave London, let alone fly to America to meet a Hollywood star. It was a huge leap of faith. Jamie Foxx didn't just offer words of encouragement. He opened his home. He gave Ed a place to stay and, more importantly, a stage. He invited Ed to perform live on his popular radio show, The Foxhole. That single performance was a spark in a dry forest. It introduced Ed Sheeran's unique sound to a massive, brand new American audience. People who had never heard of the ginger-haired kid from Suffolk were suddenly listening, captivated by the stories he told with his guitar. The momentum was building. Soon after, Ed released his debut album, titled Plus or Plus. This album was a breath of fresh air in a music industry dominated by pop gloss. It didn't rely on flashy production or a dozen co-writers. It relied on one thing: storytelling. Songs like The A-Team were a stark departure from typical chart toppers. The lyrics painted a vivid, heartbreaking picture of addiction, pain, and the struggle for survival on the streets. It was raw, it was real, and it resonated deeply with listeners. People felt the truth in his words. The A-Team began to climb the charts, not just in the UK, but around the world. The world was finally listening. Suddenly, the same industry that had once ignored him, the same labels that had turned him away, were now calling him back, desperate for a piece of his success. Ed went from playing to 5 people in a pub to performing on major television shows and walking onto huge stages in front of thousands of screaming fans. The transition was dizzying, but through it all, one thing remained constant: Ed himself. Fame didn't change him. He still wore simple hoodies and jeans. He still wrote his most personal songs alone in quiet rooms. Just him and his guitar, and most importantly, he never, ever forgot the cold nights and the empty rooms. He remembered what it felt like when no one was listening, and that memory kept him grounded. Ed Sheeran had finally broken through. He had turned years of struggle into a resounding success. But this wasn't the end of his story. This was only the beginning. In the next episode, we'll dive into how Ed Sheeran transformed this breakthrough success into global domination. You'll see how he went from rising star to a music icon, selling out stadiums and creating some of the biggest and most memorable songs in music history. Make sure you check the next episode and subscribe to our channel to continue this incredible journey. Thanks for watching.